So then, let's get down to business, shall we? Done my video earlier today, about me being back and everything like that. So let's get into it. I mean, obviously, I missed transfer deadline day and everything else that transpired then. But let's have a look at the window as a whole. Like, these are my quick thoughts, I suppose, regarding the whole thing. Like, I mean, first off, who would have ever thought that Liverpool would have gone and spent, not including sales, close to £500 million in one transfer window? I mean, we have been asking for this sort of well, not. Let me take this back a bit. Not this sort of investment every year, but as Shauno likes to say, necessary spending. And I think that's something that Liverpool did do this window. I mean, obviously we signed Chiesa last year and got a deal in place for Mamadashvili, but that was it. We went with pretty much the same squad, won the league. We look back on that now, obviously thinking it was a good idea. But, in another universe, that could have worked out terribly, We may have not won the league, whatever, but that's by the by. That's if, ands, maybes, whatever. If my auntie... No, I won't use that one. Yeah, if my auntie's got wheels, she'd be a bike. Do you know what I mean? That type of thing. It don't matter. But the way we went about it this summer, I think I would give this window a 10 out of 10. Like, I know that there's some stuff regarding centre-backs, but we did it the Liverpool way. Like, we picked one guy, we wanted Gay, we were pretty much going to get Gay just until the club, Crystal Palace, obviously turned around and said they weren't going to do it anymore. We can't do nothing about that. It's worked in the past where Liverpool have had one target before and got that player, Virgil van Dijk, for instance. Do you know what I mean? Didn't work out so much with Zubimendi, but who cares about that? He doesn't look like he's physically fit for the Premier League anyway. Do you know what I mean? Just yet. Let's see what he's like when he gets up to speed. So yeah, starting with the goalkeeper's situation, Mamadashvili coming in. We haven't seen him yet in a competitive game, but let's see what happens with him. From what we saw of him in pre-season, I don't think he's probably got the best ball skills, like an Alisson, but he's a different type of goalkeeper. However, he could spend a bit of time with Alisson this season and work it out a little bit. I've been of the opinion all this summer window, that Alisson could potentially have been sold this summer. I do think it's even more likely next summer now, after we've had Mamadashvili with Alisson. But that's something, again, we're going to have to to look towards in the future. Defensive situation, we lost Trent for 10 mil. There's a lot of people that forget that. They keep saying that we lost Trent for nothing. We didn't. We lost him for 10 mil. We brought in Frimpong for a transfer release clause. Yep, guys picked up an injury. Conor Bradley's out, but Szoboszlai's fitted straight in there. Do you know what I mean? As a right back when we've needed him. So I like that one. Kirkez has come in for a fair bit of stick lately. With the Premier League, I don't think he's made the best start. However, the game against Arsenal, I thought he was really good. So more of the same. But if not, we've got Andy Robertson, who is now our vice captain as well, sat there waiting to come in to, play whenever he's needed, really. And I think that once Conor Bradley and Frimpong are back as well, I think we will see a rotation there at full back. I do think we'll see one of them play Champions League, one of them play the League, Cup, whatever. Maybe every 70 minutes, something on every game, to swap them out to conserve energy. Do you know what I mean? So I think the full-back situation sorted. Centre-back, I know guys like Virgil, Kanate, Gomez, Leone. People forget we signed this kid. Liverpool see him as one of the best centre-backs at his current age in the world. So I think that's going to be a really good signing. We do have the Kanate situation where he's pretty much refusing to sign a deal, and it could be another Trent situation all over again, where we're losing for nothing to Real Madrid next year. But that's by the by. I mean, if they're not gonna pay for him this summer, we can't do anything about it. We cannot force him to go if there's no one out there that's going to pay the money that we want. Do you know what I mean? So we stick with him another season. Maybe try and offer him a contract again later in the year. But I will add as well, Kanate has not had the best start to a season, I don't think, and I don't know if this is down to the way that we're now lined up. If the fullbacks have been asked to do something a little better and a little bit different, and it's exposing him more. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Joe Gomez as well. You know, there was the rumor that he was supposed to be loaned out to Palace or sold to Palace, one of them or the other, in return for Gay, but Liverpool boshed that straight on the head. Longest serving player at the club now. Obviously, he picks up injuries here, there, and everywhere, but I think he was really good against Arsenal when he came on. I think he really helped solidify that defence. And there's a part of me, that probably would start him over Kanate in the next game. I'm just putting it out there. Let's see what happens with that. Into the midfield, obviously we didn't really do much here, to be fair. I don't think we signed anybody in midfield, did we? We lost to Elliott. To Aston Villa, but there's a buyback clause in there. Oh, defence, Kwanzaa. We lost Kwanzaa, didn't we? And there's something that I'm going to mention in a video after this about, obviously we got that buyback clause of him, but from what I gather as well, there's always already like a pre-arranged contract, shall we say, where there's an agreement in place with the player already that if we were to come back in for you for the release clause whenever it comes into play, this is the contract you would be given. Apparently, that's already in spot. Don't know how true that is. Sounds a bit fishy to me, but that's the latest rumblings regarding that. Florian Wirtz, again, I think very similar to Kirkes. I haven't been overly impressed with him so far. I do think he had a really good second half against Arsenal. I do think he's probably taking a bit of time to get used to the Premier League right now. But again, we'll see what he's like when he comes back from this international break. He is like the reigning, defending Bundesliga player of the year for the past 2 seasons. So there is a player in there. A lot of people wanted him. So let's just not jump on his back right now regarding that. And then the front line, obviously, Cody Gakpo signed a new contract. He has also come out and said that Bayern Munich did come in for him. And he said he didn't want to go. Luis Diaz did go to Bayern Munich. Something that was not on my bingo card, shall we say, Diaz to Bayern. I did think he was going to leave. I did think it was either going to be Barcelona or PSG. I didn't think he would go to Bayern Munich whatsoever. But all the power to him, Liverpool didn't want to give him a new contract. He's been looking for a move for about 18 to 24 months now anyway, as it is, especially to Barcelona. So it is what it is. We left on amicable terms, I suggest there. Still got Chiesa, Rio. I think he's up for goal at month, guys. There's that kid. What a starlight he is. I mean, obviously the fact that we've signed Isak now as well and Ekitike, I wonder what's the game time he's expecting now, because let's just go into it. I mean, I don't think that it's fair for Isak to come straight into that starting 11. He's had no pre-season. He hasn't played any games. He doesn't know the system. So for me, I think we start with Ekitike until at least the Champions League starts off. Do you know what I mean? You bring Isak on as a sub every now and again, bit by bit. Let him get his feet in the game, like wet his whistle type thing, and see what happens with him from there. Do you know what I mean? Like, Ekitike hasn't put a foot wrong, guys. He was on the verge of breaking a record at Liverpool if he'd have scored against Arsenal. He can also play off the left, but then you're going to stifle Gakpo and Rio if you put him there as well. So it's a good complication for Arne Slot to have to give these two game time. So let's see what happens, regarding that. There's many people saying like, why did they go and get Isak when they've just signed Ekitike? And I think people do forget that yes, obviously we sold Darwin Núñez, but Liverpool did as well, unfortunately, have the disaster regarding Diogo Jota. So we lost 2 strikers this summer, so we had to buy 2 strikers. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is, with Ekitike and Isak, and I think Ekitike would have known the Isak thing was going on when he was signed. I don't think Liverpool would have lied to him and said this, that, and the other. And he's hit the ground running as Ekitike, so it's the position's his. Isak now needs to strive and win that position from Ekitike, and maybe we'll be in a position like we were last year where we had Gakpo and Diaz, where both of them were playing, vying for position one after another, and they were both putting outstanding performances in when they were given a chance. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm all for that. Whatever, like, you know, let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's start banging in these goals. And I think that's something we're gonna have to do as well, because you know the first half of this season, like, we have looked a bit frail in defence. So we're probably gonna have to go back to the old Klopp thing where we're gonna have to start outscoring teams. So the fact we've got Ekitike, Salah, Isak that can all bang in a few goals, I ain't bothered about that. And as long as we've got Szoboszlai's right foot as well, who can whip a free kick in from miles out, we've got a threat everywhere regarding that. But yeah, overall, as I said, 10 out of 10 window for me. I do think in my next video we're going to talk about Gahey and some other stuff that's come out today regarding future transfers. I don't expect Liverpool to go into next summer and spend another $500 million. Do you know what I mean? I think next summer we might get maybe 2 signings in. You know, if we don't get Gahey in January, I reckon we get him for nothing in the summer, and I think we get another long-term replacement for a Mo Salah, shall we say, regarding that. But yeah, right. Anyway, guys, sorry for waffling on too much. Hope this video is alright for you. I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things. Let me know down below what you think about this summer transfer window, and I'll catch you in the next one.